Hi, once again, everyone. The Tuesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on the 17th day of October 2017. And what a day it was today. We started with a thick blanket of frost in most areas as expected this morning, but then the afternoon was just bright and sunny and beautiful. Wanted to start by sharing a few of our great recent viewer photos sent in to us. Don't forget you can send your pictures anytime to weatherpics@wfmj.com, and you can also submit these weather pictures via the Storm Tracker 21 app. It's real easy to do that. This is the lily pond, of course, Mill Creek Metro Parks, sent in from Bob. The foliage reflecting in the water there with some ducks enjoying the scenery. This was sent in from Jim at the Pumpkin Walk, Fellows Riverside Gardens. A lot of cartoon characters on the pumpkins there. There's Willy Wonka and E.T. and Tom and Jerry and Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy as well. Just sent in today from Joe, who is hiking one of the trails in Mill Creek Park, and beautiful shot here of all the various colors of the leaves on the ground. And one of our favorite photographers for many years, of course, has been Annette from Austintown. She sent us several great pictures of her travels over the past weekend in Mahoning County, including the colorful corn pictured here. So yeah, autumn in full swing now, especially when it feels like it did today. All right, the 2-degree guarantee today just bumped up our high this morning, our forecast high to 63, and that was the right move because it got to 64 this afternoon, overachieved a little bit, putting our most recent accuracy streak at 3. We had a little rough patch last week with 3 out of 4 days being misses, but we've hit 3 in a row, and our 2017 accuracy stands at 72%, accurate being within 2 degrees. Time lapse today, not much to show you here. Wall-to-wall sunshine, pilots sometimes refer to this as severe clear, but I think all time lapses are good time lapses, so I like to show these anyway. This, of course, is our camera from our transmitter tower overlooking Youngstown. Now, we're going to pay attention to this one quickly because there's the moon and Venus rising this morning in the eastern sky. You're going to see this again tomorrow morning with just before daybreak, a very thin, razor-thin crescent moon with Venus just above it. This morning Venus was below the moon. Tomorrow morning it will be above it. So that was a real cool time-lapse from earlier on today. This is from our weather camera right by the Eastwood Mall along 422 in Niles. So let's show you the details on what the sky will look like tomorrow morning. Again, the moon razor-thin, even kind of hard to see on the graphic here, but there's the moon right there. Thin crescent at the bottom. And not below, but above the moon tomorrow morning will be Venus, and then faintly Mars up and to the right. Mars a little harder to see, but you'll have no problems at all seeing Venus. And if you look below Venus, you should see a razor-thin crescent moon rising. This picture's valid at about 7 a.m. tomorrow, but generally 6:30 to daybreak will be a great time to check that out. Boy, talk about a quiet weather map. And, October is really the only month of the year that we see a weather map this quiet usually. In the spring and summer, there's bound to be thunderstorms somewhere. In the winter, there's bound to be winter storms or at least flurries somewhere. Usually, late September and October is one of the quieter times of the year nationwide, and today no exception. Just a little bit of rain up in parts of the Pacific Northwest, a little bit of rain in parts of Florida, and a little rain off the coast of California. That is it. Otherwise, clear sky ruling the roost, and it's warm for this time of the year in a lot of places. 75 early this evening in Billings, Montana, 74 in Denver, a little cooler in the northeast. But again, very pleasant day today, and tomorrow will be a winter as well. Notice tomorrow our daylight, we're going to drop below 11 hours tomorrow with sunrise at 7:38, the sun setting at 6:37. And our forecast for tomorrow is a high of 68. That's 8 degrees above the average. If October ended today, it would be the warmest October on record here in Youngstown. All right, we do have some changes to the pattern coming up. First things first, of course, it's going to continue warming up as a ridge really pokes its head up here in the eastern U.S. This is valid over the upcoming weekend or late this week into the weekend. There's our ridge axis right there. That's going to allow temperatures to warm into the mid-70s this weekend. Trough out west, but a pattern reversal is on the way for next week as a big-time Mondo ridge builds in the west for a change. It's really going to be hot next week in Los Angeles and Vegas and Phoenix and places like that. But look at this powerhouse trough coming into the eastern U.S. with a very active, roaring jet stream pushing across the prairies of Canada and down into the southeast. This is a pattern we haven't seen very much lately, that is for sure, and this will mean a couple of things. It's going to cool down. There's going to be some showery weather, some lake-enhanced and lake-effect clouds, And yes, I think even in the higher terrain, not here, but in the higher terrain, perhaps up around Bradford, PA, Jamestown, New York, and then especially once you're down into West Virginia, and even as far south as the Smoky Mountains, and maybe down towards Grandfather Mountain in western North Carolina, there's probably going to be some snowflakes seen next week. Maybe even a couple of inches along the real highest peaks. But that just goes to show you what kind of a change it will be in the weather pattern for next week. For us, it's not going to be snowflakes, but it is going to be cooler weather with a pretty good chance for some showers, at least early in the week. And there's a chance that that cooler pattern has some staying power. We'll talk about that a little more tomorrow. But I do suspect this won't just be a 1 or 2 day deal. I suspect we're going to have 5 or 6 days where it'll at least be average. Maybe even below average for some of that time. But it'll be a distinctly different pattern than the one we've been in for just about all of October so far. Thanks for checking out weather for Weather Geeks tonight. I'll see you back here tomorrow night, and check out my updated 7-day forecast with all those balmy numbers in it tonight on 21 News at 11 o'clock.